Fade in.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Sorry we're late. Cool man. It wasn't his fault, guys. So what happened was, um, I usually post links ahead of time to the podcast to make sure everyone knows what's happening. I didn't do that this time. I waited until right before to do it. Uh, and Coolman usually knows when the stream is taking place because of that. At least I assume he does. I'm assuming this is the case. But what happened was he thought the stream was an hour later, when in actuality I'm still doing the stream at the same time, but daylight savings has changed in my time zone. So that's the deal there. So
Yeah. So I got confused about that because I was like, all right, I got home from work. I want to like shower and stuff before, and he's like, all right, we're going live in like a minute. I'm like, wait.
yeah. Well, I mean that, and we were talking about some other stuff. That's complete. We have to get into Star Wars mode because we were talking about stuff that has nothing to do with Star Wars. So yeah, and this was actually meant to be a different stream. We had different topics in mind, but unfortunately, Angel Rin couldn't join us because she's off seeing Ghostbusters Afterlife. I hope it's a good affair. She was pretty excited about that. Now, regarding what was I going to say regarding. So we're actually gonna talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, but we're gonna wait until next week to do that, and we're gonna talk about this development regarding Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm, because they essentially gave the fans the middle finger and they're essentially extending her contract again. Oh god, like. Oh, alrighty. So let's get started with this. Cool man, what's your take? Why did they renew her contract? Or did she renew it? She is in charge after all. How does that work?
I presume it's the same reason that she kept having her contract renewed even after The Last Jedi and Solo were disasters. It's because of politics. Because if they fire her, then people will go, "Oh, you're so misogynistic," even if there's
Yeah.
very good reason to. And really, they like her politics. I think,
Right.
like corporate Disney, they like her politics. So regardless of if she's losing them billions of dollars,
Mm.
like they care more about saving face as politically than they do about making money.
Yeah. I mean but they're meant to be a business. Like
They
a
are
business
meant to
is
be a business.
they're so they. I mean, I imagine making money should be the top priority, but it's just fucking weird, man. Like I don't know what their thought process is. I mean, I think you just told me what their thought process was, but like, it's how does that? It doesn't like. What has Kathleen Kennedy done that was good for Star Wars up till this point? I mean, they probably still tell themselves, they're so deluded, they probably still tell us, like, oh, she's brought Star Wars into the new era and she's made it so diverse and inclusive and she's, well, not to, God, I hate myself for doing this, but she quote unquote broke new ground with Star Wars. That's probably what they tell themselves.
She broke new ground.
Yeah, I hate quoting those fuckers, but they do have their moments, and this is like one of those times where it's like, yeah, like, so they probably delude themselves into thinking she's done some good, so they don't have to fire her, but like, she's done nothing good. What has happened?
Well, and everything that happens is independent of her, regardless of who was making it or what was going on. A new Star Wars movie in Episode 7 was going to make $2 billion anyway. It had nothing to do with her. They could have done anything with it. And regardless of how bad it would have still made a bunch of money. The Last Jedi was also a failure directly because of her, because she was the one who picked and protected Rian Johnson.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, and it was because of her micromanaging and because of her decisions with The Last Jedi, and because of all of her terrible micromanaging of Solo.
Yeah,
that also caused the budget to inflate to like double, then you have to add like the reason why it bombed so hard is because of The Last Jedi, and it made a fraction of what it needed to do to just break even.
Yeah.
So they lost money, and it should have made over $1 billion. Rogue One made $1 billion with entirely new characters that no one knew about. So the Solo, a movie about Han Solo, even regardless of how bad it is, it should have made $1 billion. Just because it's Star Wars, but because The Last Jedi was so bad, because of Kathleen Kennedy's decisions, that's why Solo bombed. But then they're always going to spin it as, oh well, you see, they're all just misogynistic and stuff. That's why they didn't go watch a movie about a white guy, because they're like, they hate women, because reasons.
Yeah.
It's like
I love Fatay's comment here. She did break new ground by showing everyone what bad Star Wars actually is.
I mean, like, really though, that is what happened, because
it is.
I mean, how many times have you seen people who bagged on the prequels for years suddenly turned around and they were like, oh my gosh, I never knew what a bad Star Wars movie actually was until I saw The Last Jedi. And it's like, yeah, now you're getting a bit of a reality check here. Like,
yeah, no, it's I suppose that's the one, if you can call it, saving grace that came from it, but still took a big hit.
It's a monkey's paw scenario. It's like, okay, you get your wish. People appreciate the prequels, but it also took the death of Star Wars to happen.
Yeah, it's a shame. It really is. Charlie Spur, late and gay. Thank you, I guess.
That's a meme. If you're late to a stream, you're late and gay.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay, I was just like, okay.
Yeah, people say it all the time on Rekieta streams.
Nick Rekieta, Vic Mignogna's lawyer. Okay.
No, not Vic's lawyer. He just covers the case.
Oh, okay. Doesn't his lawyer have like a YouTube channel and shit, and he's trying to keep everyone informed, or?
His lawyer is Ty Beard, and sometimes he goes on Nick Rekieta's streams, but like he doesn't make videos going over it.
Oh, okay, that makes. Because I was wondering, I was like, is his lawyer like this big hotshot YouTuber? I don't know. Oh
no, no. Ty Beard's like a boomer. He's a middle-aged guy who just barely figured out how to use the internet.
Reminds me of this dentist I went to once, because I never went back because he botched the surgery. But yeah, he had nothing electronic. He had like the most old-fashioned 1970s office you could ever fucking see, and like filing cabinets. It was a mess. There's papers everywhere. That's actually one of the reasons he botched the surgery, because he couldn't find my file. So it wasn't really surgery, it was more of a procedure, but like I was getting a tooth removed, so and he pulled out the wrong tooth because he found the wrong file.
Oh,
true story.
Oh my gosh, I was just about to joke about that, like, oh, sorry, that was the wrong tooth. Like,
oh no, that's a legit thing that happened to me, and I did actually have to go to court over that. So, and I won, which was good. So yeah. Coolman is KK. Think about it. Have you ever seen Coolman and KK in the same room? Yeah, me neither. Yeah,
I have at least one argument that I can't be KK. At least one.
Yeah? How's that? We're waiting.
I'm a guy. You've seen me. I make videos.
Well, that's true. That is true. That's just like, I have one argument. I was like, okay, where's the argument? Million G. Hello, everyone. Hello to yourself. It's good to see you. Erodian. Kathleen Kennedy is also sexist herself. She claims girls and women can't relate to male characters like Han or Luke. No one tell Angel I brought this up. I'm sure she hates being reminded of that. Well, I mean...
Well, she's in the chat.
She's in the chat. We'll get to her. Chris Sagum, 2001. I think the reason she's still in charge is because of her leeching off the financial success of Clone Wars Season 7 and The Mandalorian. I mean, how does the... possibly, and thanks for the comment, The Mandalorian has been positively received, even though it's trash. No, I don't think anyone can deny that, but... Like, fuck, what was I gonna say? Fucking,
Kathleen
how
Kennedy
does... Yeah, look, Clone Wars. Look, I like Clone Wars season 7. I do. I think it's a mixed bag, but I like it. Uh, Again, you guys know my feelings on Mandalorian. Um, Sorry, I'm still early in the morning for me. I suppose that recent success would have helped her case, but like, I still imagine she's lost more money than she's lost more potential earnings. I think would be the better way to
Well, yeah,
put
yeah,
it
because
than
because
she's made money.
isn't Disney Plus still like staggering and uh like floundering? Like, aren't they struggling to keep their numbers?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not too, and I would love if anyone in the comment section knows more about this, please let us know. But like, they do have like over 100 million subscribers for Disney Plus. Apparently, that's not so much compared to like Netflix, which had like over 300 million, which is crazy when you think about it. I imagine the numbers are fluctuating for Disney Plus. I don't think it's Star Wars that's keeping everyone there. And fun fact, like, I actually want to bring this up, and I might make a video about this. I am actually excited for one Disney product that's coming out. The Baymax series was announced, and I was like, about fucking time. Like, I wasn't expecting a series, but like, Baymax is a fucking beloved character, at least in my eyes. And Big Hero 6 made bank, so I was like, where the hell is the return of Baymax? And we're getting it, and I'm happy. So I might maybe check that out on a different streaming site, not that one. But you get my point.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was trying to remember where I heard the stuff about their numbers struggling. It was Clownfish TV. They were talking about the growth of Disney Plus flatlined, and they still need like more. And like, they were really banking on like the Mandalorian season 2 to really push people, and like, especially with the Marvel shows, like they were really expecting people to like really invest in Disney Plus for that. But then what happens every time, people will at best watch it, and then they leave once the show's over, and then whenever they want to see something again, they'll get Disney Plus for a month. It's like, it's really
Yeah.
they don't have a solid model. Like, people subscribe to Netflix, and they'll stay subscribed because there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of movies and TV shows that they can watch.
Yeah.
But then with Disney Plus, it's like, okay, you have Disney, you have a lot of stuff, but people just don't really care all that much. Not as much as they really want to.
Yeah. Angel, thanks for the super chat. As soon as I clock out of work, head straight to the theater. I haven't been this excited for a movie in like 2 years at least. Probably longer now that I think about it. Hashtag I ain't afraid of no ghost. Yeah, all the best with Ghostbusters Afterlife. I was never a big Ghostbusters fan, so I apologize. I don't get the hype, but I envy it.
I'm not like a super big Ghostbusters fan either. I've seen the first movie a few times, but I'm not like super hyped for this. So I mean,
yeah, fair enough. I haven't really taken the time to look at what the perception of the movie is, but I doubt we'll speak about it because I don't really have much interest.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard like the worst thing I've heard so far is that like it was decent. So I'm like, hopefully it's good. I obviously, like, I haven't been looking into spoilers or anything because I'm not super invested. But like, I hope it's good because like, especially after 2016 was such a disaster, like, Ghostbusters needs a good movie.
It does. It really does. Have you heard of the game Prototype? It's the closest thing to an R-rated Venom, and Alex Mercer is just the emo version of Eddie Brock. No, I think I have actually heard of Prototype.
I love Prototype. I have played that game. I actually really enjoyed it. I think one of the developers also did like one of the old like Incredible Hulk games, like on the GameCube.
Right.
Basically, it's an open world game. You've got your main character is Alex Mercer, who gets infected with this like experimental virus, the Blacklight virus that turns him into like a monster. Yeah, think like Venom. He can like he has these like, he can like morph his body and change his shape and stuff.
Yeah.
And turns his body into like weapons, like huge blades and shields and stuff.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. I actually recommend you trying it out. You know, especially if you like Yeah, that kind of game.
If it's on Game Pass, I might check it out.
I actually let me check that out.
I would recommend everyone subscribe to Game Pass. It's good shit. Hermos, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Remember, Bob Iger blamed Star Wars "quote unquote" fatigue for Solo's failure. Yet we have more Marvel films than Star Wars. Yeah, I wonder what the excuse is now.
Well, yeah, remember even Rise of Skywalker struggled to make $1 billion. Like it struggled to match Rogue One, which is a spin-off movie about people no one knew. Like that was episode 9, and they struggled to even hit the Last Jedi numbers.
Hang on. People are asking me. Sorry, I just reached the part of the chat where everyone's asking about my ripped out tooth. Replica, why the fuck do you need court over having your obviously wrongly removed teeth removed? Whatever, old people are old. Okay, so slight embellishment on my part. I didn't actually go to court, but I took legal action. Okay, so I just used the expression "go to court" as in, like I sued the guy. Is basically what I meant. But I didn't. We didn't actually go to court physically. It was just the case was pretty clear cut and dry in my favor. Yeah, oh my god, it's messed up. It is messed up. This guy also was like I'm not going to say who he is because, I want to protect people's privacy, but...
Everyone, go harass Dr. Steve!
Dr. Stephen Strange.
Yeah. Yeah,
no, but like this guy was actually... I didn't even think twice about like this guy could fuck it up because he was like a PhD, like a double PhD fucking dentist, and just goes to show, guys... don't assume they know or that they give a shit about you. You need to make sure that they do their job correctly. So let's say you're going to go into surgery. If it's I don't care how many qualifications the guy has, you tell him it's the left rib getting repaired, not the right rib. It's the left tooth getting removed, not the right tooth. It's it's the left eye you're getting surgery on, not the right eye. Don't assume they know this because, again, I don't know how it happened. It was like one of those really weird instances where my dentist like slipped through the cracks of stupidity.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the Meet the Medic video for Team Fortress 2 where he's operating on the heavy and he's got his like heart pulled out and he's like, let me tell you how I lost my my license.
Yeah. My dentist didn't clean his tools properly, so I swapped spit with like hundreds of people.
Oh no!
Oh god! Oh
my gosh! That's a lawsuit if I ever heard one. If you got sick from that, oh my gosh!
I'd almost prefer the fact that I got the tooth ripped out, the wrong tooth, than that. That sounds disgusting. 118 million subscribers for Disney Plus. I think he's saying. I am not a Star Wars fan. I am a George Lucas fan. Hey, homie. Mandalorian is garbage. Yes, it is. Yep. Thanks, Blemished. I appreciate it. Kev Films 2.0. You think Star Wars would have been different had Lucas nixed the contract a bit, like having full creative control and freedom with the IP? Yeah, but Disney wouldn't have agreed otherwise. They need control. They want control. They are the suits that have to own and control everything. That's just unfortunate, but it's just the way of the world. Crazy KK still has a job because she's the highest ranking female executive in Disney. They can't fire her without industry backlash. Unfortunately, KK is not going anywhere until retirement, which, yeah, it's a sad reality, but I think you just nailed it on the head. Angel could be KK. Didn't you see how she reacted to TFA? Sus. Sorry, Angel. I love you. I would never compare you to her heart emoji.
Yeah.
The way you guys go back and forth is fascinating. Anyway, Obi Capone, Obi-Wan Capone. That's funny. What's up? Hey, not much, man. Not much. We're just kind of reeling from this news of, well, I mean, yeah. So let's get back on point regarding Kathleen Kennedy. Cool, man. Do you wanna bring up the article that's giving us the details, and we'll go through it.
Where's the article?
I will send you a link to it. I imagine there is several articles about it.
Yeah, I know. I was
Um,
just like, hey, just make sure to send me the article. And then Noms was like, yeah, I'm just gonna forget about that.
okay. Uh, oh, I typed into Google and it says she's not renewing contract.
Wait, what?
No, I mean like the search was okay. Well, everything that comes up is what the hell? Disney Plus a letdown for Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy's contract renewed. The Acolyte and Ahsoka filming updates. The Cantina. Okay, well I guess this website does not like Kathleen Kennedy very much. I think. Oh God, wait. Yeah, is Dork Side of the Force? Are they like the shills? Because, or am I thinking
Um,
of Den of Geek? Is it Den of Geek that shill her?
I think Den of Geek is Shills. I don't remember Dork
Okay,
Side.
all right. Let's try Dork Side of the Forces article. Discord's acting up again. Discord's a cunt. Trying to send it through, but
All
alrighty.
right.
Yeah, so I sent it to you. Okay.
All right. Yeah, let me just get this ready.
Charlie, love you too, cool man, but you're still wrong about Clone Wars. Yeah.
That's okay, Charlie. You're allowed to be wrong.
On toilet watching.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, man. Did the link go through?
Oh, yeah, I got it. I'm just
Okay,
waiting
good.
for StreamYards to allow me to screen share.
Oh, okay. That is it acting up? Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Discord was acting up for me a second ago too. There's a glitch in the matrix, guys. Um, Cool man is wrong. Can confirm. What boils my blood is that KK claims to want strong, free-thinking women, yet fires Carano but supports Christina for saying worse shit. Okay, does anyone want to? I know about Carano, but does anyone want to fill me in about Christina, whoever that is?
uh, Not sure.
You want to expand on that, Kev? Because I'd be
I,
interested in hearing what that
Not
is.
entirely sure if I've heard about that.
What is the source? So the source is like I said, there's a lot of sources out there, but we're gonna go with Dork Side of the Force. This is the one we're gonna go through. Um, is it still not working, cool man?
Oh, just a second.
Okay.
For it. All right. Is
Okay.
it showing up
Yeah,
for you
yeah,
on StreamYard?
yeah. It's showing. It's it. Alrighty. Okay.
That was a rigmarole just to get this going.
Alrighty. So yeah, it says Kathleen Kennedy is here to stay. It was published 2 days ago. It says, yeah, Kathleen Kennedy is recognized as one of the most successful producers in the film industry, having produced and executively produced over 70 feature films and multiple television productions. Yeah, okay, so that's like not. I mean, what
Well,
produced is in got coffee for people who actually fucking made the product.
she like handled some finances, but like ultimate, she had nothing to do with the movies themselves. It's like this is annoys me is everyone's like, oh my gosh, but she was involved with like Indiana Jones and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, but not in any creative way. Like
Yeah.
she's making creative decisions. She's at best a businesswoman, and we see that business people are not the best creative forces.
I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck she got her job in the first place. uh, she has zero idea of how to run a company and how to produce quality content. She has no fucking clue. Like this chick, what was she doing during her 30 years of being, the coffee girl? She worked under Steven Spielberg. She worked under George Lucas, and she's done nothing but put out crap with this company. It's mind blowing to me. You'd think in that 30 years she would have figured out how to put out some good shit. But all right, oh yeah, married in. Yeah, isn't her husband like one of the like people on like head producers on Jurassic Park? If I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
Frank something, I think. But yeah,
Apparently
like
George put him in his place at the Force Awakens premiere. That's this really funny thug life clip. You seen it? I'm pretty sure you have.
yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
But
crush you like
like
a bug.
yeah, well, what's insane with this is that I think the reason that George Lucas put her in charge was, aside from the 30-year like relationship that they had, he trusted her. I think he presumed that she would be the one to pick the right people to make stuff, not try to take a hold of everything and do it herself.
Yeah. I mean, there's also the bloody. There's a bloody the infamous video linked on this page that goes over the initial agreement the two had, which was George was saying I wasn't going to make any more, but Kathy can make more and kind of usher in the new era, and he did this under the assumption that we're going to use the stories that and the outlines that he left in place. That was the deal in his eyes, and obviously it's the internet's going off long and loud about how Bob Iger stabbed him in the back.
Yeah.
Cunt. Noms, I swear I would never cheat on you with Angel. We have something special, you and I. Money emoji, money emoji, money emoji. Now shut up and take my money. All right. Thanks, Charlie. Also, Noms and Coolman, what's your opinion on Star Wars Rebels? I've never seen it, but I've heard mixed opinions. Okay, so you like the first two seasons, yeah? If I remember correctly?
Most of the first two seasons, yeah. But the season 2 finale, that's beyond irredeemably bad.
Okay. I'm more forgiving than that. I like most of Rebels. The part so like the end of season 2 made Coolman rage quit. It was the World Between Worlds episode in season 4 that almost made me rage quit. Like I was really mad at that. It was a dumpster fire of an episode. It's spat in the face of everything. It didn't ruin the whole series. It was just like you're just like, wow, what a joke.
Disney's
It's basically just proving like they can just fucking resurrect. They can resurrect characters now. They can go back in time and shit. Like, wonderful. That's just what we need. They're get out of jail. They can use a get out of jail free card to just bring back characters when they need to make more series. It's fucking ugh. George Lucas got backstabbed. Yes, he did. Frank Marshall, I think, is
yes, that's what it
husband.
was.
That's who it is. Okay. The term "successful" has gotten real loose. Okay. Industry needs to take a hint from Rick McCallum. He knew his role was to get George over the hell he needed to fulfill George's vision. And he says as much. Yeah, Rick McCallum is about as good as, he was about as good as at the role for a producer as there ever was. Like, he was the producer, wasn't he, on the prequels? That was his official title?
I'm not sure exactly.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So let's keep going with this article here. So it says, yeah, she's produced all this bullshit. She has almost 100 Academy Award nominations on her resume. It comes as no surprise that the leadership skills and quality she has developed over the years have once again solidified her rightful place at the top of Lucasfilm's leadership team. Fuck you.
Oh
Fuck
no.
yourself. She has over 100 Academy Award. Fucking way to spin it. Holy shit.
She
Like,
literally stands on the shoulders of giants and takes their credit.
she even quoted herself saying, there's actually a quote of her saying that there are people whose shoulders, giants, you stand on the shoulders of to, to put out this stuff. And it's like, yeah, no shit, honey.
Kathleen Kennedy isn't going to let a man take credit for a woman's work.
No, Kathleen Kennedy doesn't stand on giants' shoulders. She's a strong, independent woman who stands on her own two stilts. That's what she does. Anyway, recently it was announced that Kennedy's contract had been renewed until 2020 fucking 4. She will hold her title as the president of Lucasfilm for at least 3 more fucking painful, groan-inducing, hellish fucking years. Yes, that's what the article says. George Lucas specifically chose Kennedy to. God,
Way to spit this.
No, I mean, look, that's true, but it's outdated because it was like, yeah, at the time, yeah, he specifically chose Kennedy to lead Lucasfilm into this new era, leaving out the fact that this bitch backstabbed him in so many ways. It's not even fucking funny, and she's run pretty much the entire franchise into the ground. He'd been considering retirement, or at the very least not having to run a corporation, but he didn't have to search hard for the person he knew would handle things with fucking... Goddamn, I regret picking this fucking article. Because there were plenty of articles saying Star Wars fans are not happy about this, because they knew that she was bad for the franchise. This fucking article was shilling the hell out of her. This is AIDS, this article. Fucking ugh. KK's biggest failure has to be Galaxy Edge Imagineers. Galaxy Edge Imagineers wanted the park to be Tatooine, but KK changed it to be themed around the sequel trilogy because, quote unquote, that will be Star Wars to future generations. Yep. Oh, so we just forget about the timeless classics. It's all about the futuristic shit that you've put out there that's Disney owned and produced. That's my biggest fear about this whole thing, is that people are going to forget about the originals. The prequels, the original trilogy. It's all going to be forgotten because this cunt is just fucking drowning it out.
I don't think they'll be forgotten, no matter how much Disney wants to change things.
No, but I'm worried that's the goal. Like, that's what they're trying to do. And, like, that is not the mentality you want to have. I mean, like, fuck. How's about you try to, like... I mean, if Disney had their way, they'd edit the fucking... and censor the shit out of the original trilogy and the prequels. Thankfully, George... the one ace in the hole George had was in the contract he had. They can't touch those films. They cannot touch those films, apparently, which is good. Excellent. But George was always very hyper protective of creators not having their work changed by... People try to frame it as, like, George says he wants cinema to remain as it was, and, like, you can't change shit, but then they'll criticize him for actively changing his own work. The problem with that is that George's quote was specifically so that creators could remain in control of their own work, and that, like, Hollywood studios and shit couldn't change it in retrospect. Basically, ownership doesn't matter. He who created the art remains as the creator envisioned it. So yes, the creators can change their art, but people can't change it for them. Was what he was trying to
Yeah, like
put
some
out there.
corporation can't come in and just start like altering stuff just for the hell of it. Like how in ET they were changing some of the guns to be walkie-talkies because guns, we don't want people to see guns, like the police having guns. Like it's like, really? You're changing a movie from the 80s? Like it's just it's stuff like that that you can know that Lucas knows stuff like that happens, and he didn't
Mm.
want it to happen to Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, yeah, Disney can do some stuff, but they
Mm.
can't butcher everything like they probably want to.
Sorry, it's just my mouse. Fiddling with my mouse. Right. Let's keep going with this shitty fucking piece. Who the fuck wrote this? Meg Dowell. Wow, she doesn't have a fucking clue. Um. Wait. Go up. Go up.
Oh,
No, went a little bit too far. Uh. Yeah. Lucas specifically chose Kennedy to lead Lucasfilm to a new era when Disney officially acquired everything in 2012. He'd been considering retirement, or at least at the very least, not having to run a corporation. Okay, I already read that. Ugh. I'm not reading it again. It occurred to me one day that perfect person to take over the company was Kathy, he said when discussing the future of Star Wars. It's just such a perfect fit. I felt that I really wanted to put the company somewhere in a larger entity which would protect. Wow. Is that even a quote though? Because I've seen that video, the one that's linked below. And I don't know if that's specifically what it's referencing, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't say that.
let's
Can't hear it.
oh, did I forget to activate sound?
Maybe.
Frick.
It's all right. We don't have to watch it. It's just we can if you. Yeah. Okay. All right. You wanna maybe
Yeah,
see if we can get
let
to
me
work.
stop. Yeah, let me
All right. I guess
stop.
we are gonna watch a video, guys. How about that? We weren't originally, but we can. And I'll get to Charlie's super
Okay,
chat.
yeah, make sure to click share audio.
Uh huh.
All
Yes, Rick
right.
McCallum was the producer for the prequels. Also, this article simming for KK more than I sim for you. Jesus Christ. It is appreciated, Charlie. Um,
All right.
uh,
I have it ready to go.
okay, yeah.
I'm not
Okay, it's up.
Okay. Maybe put it a little bit louder as well.
I don't have to run a corporation. And it occurred to me one day that the perfect person to take over the company was Kathy. It's just such a perfect fit. And I felt that I really wanted to put the company somewhere in a larger entity, which would protect it. Just
Okay, so that
George.
that
Okay,
was,
so that was a quote. All right.
but
I
yeah,
haven't
but
seen that video in a long time.
this was right when the deal was happening. So
Yeah.
like this is very old information.
Mm. Well, I mean,
Like
it basically nothing's happened yet. Essentially,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
imagine. I'm pretty sure George didn't find out until the following year, or at least a couple months later, that they weren't going to use his story treatments.
yeah, because the whole point of him putting Kathleen Kennedy in charge was she was a friend. He had worked with her for many decades, and
Yep.
he thought that if there's anyone here who I can trust to run the business, it would be her because she'll care about my company.
Yeah.
And only to find out that the second that he handed the keys over, she stabbed him in the back and said, "All right, screw you, George. Thanks for giving me all the power in the world. Now I can do whatever I want with Star Wars."
Yeah,
It's like,
and guys, this should be an indicator to everyone in your everyday lives just how fucking two-faced some people can be. This bitch was playing this poor guy, for 30 years, fucking smiling through her teeth at him, sucking up to him, and as soon as she was given a position of power where she didn't have to answer to this guy, just look at what she went and did. Everything he didn't intend her to do. Like, It's really fucking sickening. It really to this day gets me.
Yeah, there's some people who have like no heart. They're just evil people. I would even say this is borderline sociopathic. Like to genuinely like pretend that you're a friend to someone, but just waiting for you to take over everything from them because you just all you crave is power. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like people like Kathleen Kennedy are genuinely evil. Like you don't fake being a friend to someone for decades only to screw them over and gleefully ruin everything they did so that you can do whatever you want without having a heart. Like you can't have a heart and do that.
There's a reason why Two-Face is such a famous Batman villain. He's the visual personification of every, well, not every, just what many human beings are like. Let it play as well. I want to watch the rest of this, actually.
Disney is a huge corporation. They have all kinds of capabilities and facilities, so that there's a lot of strength that is gained by this. The great thing about Disney, again, as we were saying before, is that, it's between the parks and all the things they've got going. It's great that we have a chance probably to expand that. And, there's lots and lots of opportunities at Disney that we wouldn't have at any other studio.
There's huge opportunity.
He's referencing the potential to have a theme park for Star Wars. Well, that didn't go very well, did it? Oh, gosh.
I'm sure he thought it would be like what everyone would want. It's got like, Tatooine, Bespin, maybe Naboo, and stuff like that, familiar locations that everyone would want to go see, with rides that everyone would want to go on and merchandise that you could only buy there. Like it blows me away because how do you screw this up? You have one of the most profitable franchises of all times. You can make billions out of a park built around Star Wars. And the fact that it hadn't happened by this point is shocking in and of itself. But the fact that when they do it, they're like, yeah, we're just going to throw out everything that people actually care about.
Yeah.
It's all going to be our new stuff. And then when that failed, then they start backtracking, and now they're like, oh, here's stuff that you did like. Please come and see our place. It's baffling the sheer hubris of people like Kathleen Kennedy to think I can do whatever I want and I can make it successful. And I'm like, no, you can't.
Hang on. Yellow Ranger. NOMZ, you're gonna watch the vid of the guy who was almost young Anakin. I don't know which video you're referencing specifically. So short answer is no, because it's kind of off topic, but maybe I'll watch it on my own time. I'm pretty sure. I mean, is that a recent thing? Because I did hear something about that.
I don't know. Let me just check real quick.
All right. Funny how KK and Disney have all the power to cancel the Clone Wars, backstab Lucas, pander to prequel trilogy, Bathers. I don't know what Bathers is, and decanonize the EU, yet can't undo the sequel trilogy. Well, that's the thing. I think Coolman mentioned that they care more about sticking to their guns and saving face than they do about caring. They can't admit they're wrong, and they're willing to lose as much money as possible, rather than just bite that bullet. You know what I mean? They can't. It's a bitter pill to swallow. They don't want to do. And people like Disney, they can't. It sets a precedent. I don't think Disney have ever admitted they were wrong before. They didn't apologize for the having Mulan shots in locations that like have Chinese death camps going on.
Oh yeah, they shot
haven't apologized for that. They haven't apologized. They don't apologize for anything. It's which. I mean, you shouldn't apologize to normally, you shouldn't cave to mobs ordinarily. You shouldn't ever do that. But these guys have they've crossed so many lines for so many reasons.
Yeah, you said something that someone thought was offensive, and you apologize to that, you don't like apologizing to the mob for that is dumb. But when a corporation is shilling a communist regime that is that has literal concentration camps that they filmed next to, it's like that's something you need to apologize for, because I'm pretty sure that's probably a war crime
or when you
or human rights violation.
Or when you renege on a handshake deal with the creator of Star Wars and stab him in the back and then fucking completely change the universe he created. Yeah, that warrants an apology.
Oh,
when
yeah, and then
when your actors admit that you didn't have a fucking plan for the sequel trilogy, that you tried so fucking hard to pretend like it was going to be the always planned finale to this epic saga, and you had no fucking plan for it whatsoever, and you ran into the ground, and you destroyed the legacy characters and any reason for anyone to be invested. You should apologize for that. You should apologize for angering the fans of the series that are putting fucking money in your wallets. Absolutely. But yeah, sequel, or at the very least, you should fucking listen to them. And you should, I mean, I would be so much more invested in Star Wars if the sequel trilogy was decanonized, as well as most of the sequel lore.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people have been speculating they're going to do that for the last couple of years. They're not going to do it. They're never going to do it unless someone else gets in charge. Like they're never going to do it. Like they're too proud to admit that was a mistake.
I think narcissistic is the better word for that. They can't accept it. They can't admit the mistake. They're too not only fragile as a company, but like they're just. As businessmen, they can't do it. They want to swallow the pill. And what they're instead doing, and this is the completely wrong way to go about it. I mean, look, if this company was run by true businessmen, businessmen or women, whatever, they would do what would make the most sense financially, which is to start fresh. Just like, look, we're bleeding money from this franchise. Nobody's interested. We need to get people interested again. If that includes just canceling out some of the products we've done that, like, for example, what's a good example? I'm pretty sure the writer for Dragon Ball Evolution came out and apologized because he knew the work was a pile of shit and he knew why he did it and blah, blah, blah. Granted, it's a separate story, different circumstances. Fair enough. I'm pretty sure Sam Raimi himself kind of apologized for Spider-Man 3. Basically said that like it wasn't his best work. He was disappointed in it. He did the best he could, but Sony were cunts, so he basically had to just deal with them, and he got the project done. But it wasn't his best work, and he I don't know if he apologized specifically for it, but I'm pretty sure I don't think he needed to apologize for Spider-Man 3 because Spider-Man 3 is still a likable movie. It's just disappointing compared to what it should have been. But you have instances like that where like fans like, okay, cool, they're acknowledging us, they're understanding the criticism, they aren't tone deaf, they're not being cunts about it. Disney, on the other hand, are.
Yeah.
And instead what they're doing is instead of trying to wipe the slate clean and start new work and actually take some care this time, what they're doing is they're trying to build everything around it in order to in order to try and make that shitty work that they did make more sense and to be accepted by the fans. But that's just going to result
what?
In even more contrived nonsense. You know what I mean? Sorry, Tourette's just
yeah. Well, yeah,
and my speech sometimes.
Well, yeah, and it's like when the Mandalorian was coming out, and then people were like, "Oh, finally, it's good again." I'm like, "Okay, but you guys do realize that they're leading into the sequel era." Yeah. Like they said this before the show started. The whole thing was meant to be a prelude to the building of the First Order and the origins of like I don't know if they said they were going to be the origins of Snoke, but it's very clear that, like, when they're trying to like justify the First Order existing and the whole stuff with Grogu, like this is supposed to lead into the creation of Snoke as of the Rise of Skywalker's explanation. It's like this is all supposed to be leading up to The Force Awakens. Like, none of that changes.
Yeah,
it's like
it's yeah. No, Spider-Man 3 is a lovable movie. Yeah. No, I said that. I know Spider-Man 3 is lovable. I certainly still enjoy it. Well, I enjoy the parts that I can. Because let's be real, there is a lot of good stuff in Spider-Man 3. It's just very messily thrown together, and it does some severe character disservices that I can't forgive. But
yeah, it's like, and the good parts that are in it, like, it's like if you actually watched a bunch of the best scenes in a row, you'll be like, yeah, this is actually pretty good. But then you have all of the nonsense that comes in, and like all the wackadoodle stuff that has to happen in order to cram all those characters in. Like Harry, he gets knocked in the head and then has amnesia until he doesn't, because we need him out of the way, because we got two more villains that we need to get in.
Yeah. Like if they let's not go down that rabbit hole. But Blind Spruce, Tolkien refused to sell Lord of the Rings to Disney. Now I can see why. Hey, Tolkien ahead of the curve. I do wonder how the fuck Amazon Prime got their hands on it then, but
it was the death of Tolkien's son, he was the guy who was in charge of the whole like Lord of the Rings stuff. Like, he deeply loved Lord of the Rings. Like, he loves Lord of the Rings so much, and he loves his father's work so much. He had problems with the Peter Jackson movies because they weren't like exact the one-to-one with the books. Well, it's like, I mean, they're still good movies, but like, this guy was diehard protective of Lord of the Rings. So they could not do anything without this guy giving an approval. And then the second he dies, boop, Amazon's like, well, we got Lord of the Rings. We're going to do our show now.
Diversity, inclusion, stunning and brave.
And it's not even about the Lord of the Rings. So the name of the show is wrong because they're pulling from the Silmarillion.
And apparently they're going to try and turn it into Game of Thrones. They're going to have like raunchy sex in Lord of the Rings, and like, that's not what Lord of the Rings is meant to be.
No,
family. Well, I guess family friendly, if it's the right term, or it's like it's not meant to be. It's meant to be. It's family friend.
It's more classic fantasy. It's not
classic
it's like
fantasy.
Sure, dark stuff and adult stuff does happen, but like, you don't really see a lot of it because, in a way, it's a bit romanticized, even the deaths in a lot of ways. Like when Boromir dies, like he gets impaled with a bunch of arrows, but he gets a dramatic death scene and a moment with Aragorn and stuff. It's like stuff like that. It's like, but it's not like it's not like everyone's getting beheaded on screen like in a Game of Thrones. And like, why would you try to imitate Game of Thrones years after season 8 completely plummeted interest in anything Game of Thrones?
Well, I mean, I think that what they're mainly appealing to is, like The Witcher, for example. I think The Witcher is going to be the next Game of Thrones. The way, not necessarily with its quality, but with its popularity is what I'm trying to say. First season was really big. Second season is just around the corner, and that's more akin to. Like, I mean, I think that's certainly more romanticized fantasy than Game of Thrones, but it's still got, the blood and violence and sex of it. And, but again, that's not Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is very, I think, romanticized fantasy that's not exactly adult content. So, if that makes, hopefully that makes a bit of sense. I'm not the best at giving these kind of adjectives to things, so I apologize.
But it's like it's just utter nonsense of corporations screwing over the creations of other people because they can't come up with anything on their own.
Can't believe this woman is getting rewards for her trash. Only in Hollywood can you fail upwards this hard. Yeah, exactly. Failing upwards. I think that's what I should have called the podcast. Failing upwards, a Kathleen Kennedy story. I might actually rename it to that.
That's hilarious.
When I re-upload this to the the archive channel, which, by the way, guys, I've linked the archive channel in the pinned comment. If you haven't already, maybe after the stream as well, go subscribe there because all the new podcasts are being uploaded there. And I actually did upload the last podcast we did about the YouTube dislikes. That's already up there. I didn't exactly advertise it like on all the other channels. I just sort of posted it there and people can find it at their wish. And it's funny because that podcast got demonetized on this channel when we streamed it here. What didn't happen though, so I put in a request review because it got demonetized. You request a review and YouTube looks at it and they say, yeah, okay, it's fine. Or they say, no, it's still demonetized. So on this channel, they actually approved it. There's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this video. I upload the exact same thing onto the archive channel. I put the same request review in, and they say, no, it's too anti-advertiser. It's not advertiser friendly. It's staying demonetized. It's like, oh, okay. So your standards are bullshit. But then again, we already knew that. I just thought it was funny because it's exactly the same thing. I haven't altered it in any way. And they're just like, yeah, nah, this version isn't suitable for advertisers. Anyway, Lord of the Rings is the series that's redefined modern fantasy, both the books and Peter Jackson movies. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Spider-Man 3 has the best version of Sandman ever. The character has next to nothing in common with the other versions, and that's good. Marco's tragic story is far more engaging compared to the comic Loner. Okay, I'm unfamiliar with the comic version of Sandman, but at least for the moment. I might do a bit of research later on, but one of my problems with Spider-Man 3 isn't the character of Sandman. I like his character in Spider-Man 3. It's the inclusion of Sandman in Spider-Man 3 that I have a problem with, because it kind of fucks up a lot of other stuff. But anyway, just some FYI. Michelle Obama was right. Just the wrong target, I guess. Does anyone get what that means?
Not sure. Was it referencing something else in the chat?
Maybe. Failing upwards. Disney Rats Circle. Hey, Yelpman, what's up? NOMZ, have you read Kazanjian's book yet? I'm a bad reader, dude. I'm not good at... I got so many books to read, and I just never find the time to read them. And even when I do read them, I really take my time. I doubt I'll ever get around to reading Kazanjian's book. It's nothing personal, but yeah, nothing against J.W. Rinsler, of course. I do really want to read his Making of Star Wars books, though. Anyway, we should probably get on with the video, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Given the tremendous success that Disney's had with Marvel and with Pixar, and now adding Lucasfilm to that, I think.
Statements that did not age well.
Oh, Lord.
Well, yeah, like, actually, this would have been on the heels of Avengers. But
yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, back in 2012.
This was October that year. I remember that year very well. That was a very eventful year. That was. And Avengers came out that April.
Yeah, so. And you know what's hilarious about this statement is that Disney didn't make the MCU movies before then. Like the first one that they made wholesale was Iron Man 3. Because
Flashbacks.
Like they came in during, I think it was like during the end of Avengers production. So like if there's any more details on that.
The Avengers had the least Disney meddling done to it. Iron Man 1 probably had the least Disney meddling done to it, and everything that came before Avengers. But even though Disney took possession of Marvel when Avengers came out, they had virtually no. At least is what you told me, and I believe you. They had pretty much no meddling in the production before distribution. They simply distributed what was already made, and then they started meddling.
Yeah, they distributed Avengers. They slapped their logo on it, and they were like they distributed it, but they didn't make it. Everything starting in phase 2 onward, that was what Disney made. So that's hilarious that she's talking about how great Disney did with the I'm like, you guys didn't do anything with that. You guys came in and bought it right when they became super successful, because Avengers was the first like superhero movie to break $1 billion and was like a massive ultra success. I'm like, and yeah, you guys got lucky that you happened to get a hold of it during that point.
Herodian, top 10 moments taken before disaster.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's funny because like, especially also mentioning Pixar, it's like, yeah, but Pixar, like, yeah, I mean, at the time, yeah, Pixar was still pretty well known, but like, or well liked, but they've had a number of mediocre movies. Some of them people don't even remember. Like, it's like the fact a Pixar movie coming out used to be an event. Like a Pixar when something like Finding Nemo, Monsters Inc., The Incredibles, Ratatouille, when those movies came out, it was a big deal. You went and saw the new Pixar movie. But then like starting around the time that Disney completely bought them out, for some reason, that's when their quality started to slip.
Yeah, everything that goes corporate turns to shit, guys. Moral of the story.
Then the man, Cars 2. I hate that movie so much.
I don't. I'm not really into. I've never been a Cars guy, but I've heard that movie's hated beyond belief.
It's awful.
Just got on the stream. Have you seen the rumors that DVD forwarded about DVD being Doomcock? I'd imagine. Forwarded about KK. Also, hi Noms. Hi. Good to see you back. Super epic. Where is your fucking Margin Boo display pic? Seriously. I kind of like remembering the quirks of the chat. Who has this profile pic, and who has a tendency to say this in chat. Blah blah blah. It's it's cool. I definitely remember that Margin Boo epicness. Only one of the Disney Star Wars films was a flop, and the TV shows are a big success. People are watching Disney Plus more than going to the theaters. True, but we already kind of spoke about the whole fluctuating subscriber base of Disney Plus. Like, someone told me, someone in the chat, just before we continue, someone in the chat said Disney made bank on The Mandalorian. I'm not exactly sure how they would make bank by making a product and then putting it on Disney Plus and just having it for free on their own streaming service.
But what happens is that especially with when you have a service like Netflix or Disney Plus, what you do is you make these shows and movies and stuff, and you put them out on the service. And the idea is people who will want to subscribe to watch it, so that their monthly subscriptions pay for everything. So they're not directly making money. Like, people aren't buying it. Like, well, unless it's something like Mulan 2020, where you have to buy it, or Black Widow. But like a lot of that
PTSD
stuff
from that movie.
But the idea is they would make money from all the people who would, theoretically speaking, flock to Disney Plus and then remain subscribers, paying their something dollars a month, and that gives Disney money. But the problem is that most people's philosophy with Disney Plus was, I'll subscribe for a month or two when something I like is on, and then I'll quit. Like, there's a radio station, a local radio station in my area.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of these funny little gags, like between like songs, like sections of songs. And one of the ones they did, this was back when The Mandalorian season 2 was about to come out. The main like host guy was like, "Oh, the new season of The Mandalorian is coming out. Time to get Disney Plus for a month and then drop it when the show is over." And I'm like, "Oh my God." Like, and that's just a normal, they're not like super like nerdy and stuff, so they're really normie. So the fact that was their mentality, I think that really speaks to a lot of people's perspective of, we're going to come in, we're going to get a subscription for however long the show is running, and then we'll drop it because we can watch Disney, other places. We have our DVDs, whatever. And it's like, that's why I think their numbers are stagnating, is because honestly, they are not Netflix, and they're just trying to be the Disney version of Netflix. And what people liked about Netflix in the first place was because they didn't have to have massive packages where they would buy like a satellite or cable TV where you have to buy all these packages with all these channels. You can have everything in one spot. But now that everyone wants to have their own streaming service, all of a sudden it's become like what happened with cable again. Like now you have to have like 10 different subscription services. So instead of having to pay less than $10 a month to have Netflix, you're having to pay $50, $60, $70 for all of these subscription services because everyone wants a piece of the pie, and they're completely defeating the reason why people liked it so much.
Yeah. Hey, first their name is back. How you doing, buddy? Hey, NOMZ, Dumb and Dumber, meaning, for those of you who don't know, Dan Weiss and David Benioff, creators of Game of Thrones, showrunners of Game of Thrones. They didn't actually create the source material. Anyway, they coined the phrase "failing upward," and KK was made out of the same mold. Yeah. Also, hey NOMZ, ever thought of making videos of how I would have done the sequel trilogy? No, it's just not something I'm into. I have thought about doing a video about how I would have done Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4. That's actually still very much a possibility. I just haven't really gotten around to it. Glad someone else noticed Pixar's decline after Disney bought it. Hey, cool.
Yeah.
You're in good company.
Yeah, it's like that was something that I was thinking about, and a lot of people didn't want to talk about, like, a lot of people, because Pixar had such a sterling reputation for so many years. Like the idea that they could make a movie that wasn't great was unfathomable to a lot of people. So even if you didn't care as much for a movie, like I was never big on Ratatouille, but it wasn't like a bad movie. But then the first Pixar movie that I think that made me question them was Brave, because I thought Brave was boring, and there were a number of people who share that perspective. A lot of people still like it, but like it felt like it just didn't have as much of the heart, and it felt like it was a little bit more sloppily made. Yeah. But then that was really a sign of things to come, and it's like. Right. The fact that, like I mentioned before, the fact that you can have a Pixar movie that can come out and no one knows it even came out, like that's a really bad problem. Like, yeah, and then now they're making a bunch of like mediocre movies. I'm like, Pixar used to be like the gold standard for animation, like 3D animation at least. They did. And like now they're a joke. They're just another name that Disney has.
Yeah, look at this. Oh wait, yeah, Brave. Forgot that was a movie.
Yep, it's forgettable. Okay, yeah, I know Cars 2 existed. I hated Cars 2, but like I didn't really think about Pixar having a decline until Brave. Because like Cars 2, it felt like it was just a corporate mandated movie. Whatever, it was a sequel. But Brave was an original movie. Like it was it wasn't a sequel. So the fact that was boring, and I thought it was just very dull. Like I remember I kept checking my phone every time when I was first watching the movie, like, is this movie over yet? Like, because I was getting really tired of it. Yeah. And again, I should have more specifically clarified is that Brave wasn't the first time I thought that Pixar wasn't flawless, but it was the first time that I started noticing that there was a more of a decline.
Hashtag release the NOMZ sequel trilogy cut. Anyone seen Wheel of Time? Interested in thoughts? I haven't seen it. Cool, man. I don't know if you've seen it, but
no, don't know anything about Wheel of Time. I'm guessing that there's a wheel related to time in it.
I always get Wheel of Time and what's Wrinkle in Time? Is that the one with Oprah Winfrey?
Wrinkle in Time is a different movie. No.
Yeah,
Wheel of
'cause
Time.
I always get confused with Wheel of Time and Wrinkle in Time. I don't know why, but it sounds similar. I know they're different. It was like, is he talking? Oh, okay, that's what he meant. The Fighting Expert, pizza, hard cider, and NOMZ. Great way to close the week. Hey, yeah. It's been a long week. Work was killer. But I'm glad it's the weekend. This is the only time I can find time to do this now. Is just the weekend, so and I'm gonna try and make it every time, like this time every week. So I don't know, set your calendars, I guess. Hermas, how you doing, pal? To me, Up was the last good Pixar film. Up's the one with that Groucho, right? He's grouchy.
The old guy in the house.
Yeah. Okay. I actually never saw that.
I actually didn't like Up.
What? Oh, you didn't like Up?
I didn't like it. Like that's unpopular. That's an unpopular thought. A lot of people really love that movie. I didn't like it. I mean, it also hurts because it came right after Wall-E. Like Wall-E is like my favorite. I love Wall-E so much. So then then Up happened, and I'm like, oh. And then Toy Story 3 happened, and I liked. And then Cars 2 happened, and I was like, oh no. And then Brave happened. Oh no.
I like Wall-E, but I'm still salty at him for fucking up my Dark Knight viewing experience. That's it. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I've told that story before, but I won't repeat it. Maybe want to hear it, I'll tell them. But it's not Wall-E's fault. I'm just shit. I'm just kidding. But I was salty at Wall-E for a while because of that. And then I watched it, and I loved it. And then I watched it, and I loved it. Wall-E's not my favorite Pixar movie, though. And by the way, you ever heard of a movie called Flushed Away?
Yes, the one with the rats.
Yeah, is that DreamWorks or is that Pixar?
That's DreamWorks.
Okay, I love that movie. I think it's got Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet as the voice actors.
Man, I had totally forgotten about that movie. It's been so long.
I imagine it has it gets mixed up with Ratatouille or something. I don't know.
Well,
I sometimes think that movie was called Ratatouille, but it's like no, it's Flushed Away. I don't know. Don't judge. I get names mixed up. Anyway,
they both have rats in it.
They both have rats in it. But yeah. Anyway. But yeah, no, Flushed Away. I actually haven't seen Ratatouille. I've seen Flushed Away. Flushed Away was actually pretty good. Ocarina of Time and Spirit of both. I don't know what I think he's talking about Wrinkle in Time.
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time. Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. Wheel of Wrinkles.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up to chat. I think we're caught up now. Okay, let's keep going with the vid.
Oh yeah. I forgot. I'm like, I have the power.
You have the power. Yes.
I think we couldn't be at a better home.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
Disney defines family entertainment, and in many ways, it's the best company possible to take.
Oh well, okay. By the way, guys, if you guys ever make a comic or write a book or fucking make a movie IP franchise, don't sell it to Disney. Don't sell it to anybody. You keep the control. You fucking hang on to it.
Yeah,
don't sell it to Disney ever. Ever.
Yeah, and if you do sell it, make sure that you have the rights. Make sure that you still own the rights to it, and that you have creative control.
They won't deal for that. They have to be in control. I mean, if you can get it, great, but I doubt they'll do that.
Well, the show Gravity Falls was a Disney show, and Alex Hirsch, the creator of the show, maintained creative control, and he still had to work with Disney, of course, but when he wanted to end the show after 2 seasons, he did, and the show's done. It didn't go on for 10 more seasons and completely run into the ground. It had 2 good seasons. It ended, and then it's like, okay, we're done. This show took place over the summer vacation, and that was 40 or so episodes. Yeah. And it's like, all right, we're done. It's like, oh, it's like it was, and that was a show that ended several years ago. But that was refreshing, that you didn't have a show that ran and ran and ran until it became a dumpster fire. So it's like, yeah, like you can still do this, but the problem is many creators, especially if they're naive and young and don't know just how skeevy the businessman can be, like it's like, yeah, you have to make sure that they don't screw you if you do sell. They don't screw you on the contract, because they will.
Don't sell. Just don't sell.
Yeah.
Play it safe. Lies, deception, every day more lies. Yeah. The greatest thing the devil ever did, remember, is convince mankind he didn't exist. That's what she's doing right here. Hey, I don't know what Cool Cole's saying. Hang on. Okay, I was about to say, because I was going to highlight Cool Cole. How you doing, buddy? My boys, you're all fucking asswipes. And I was like, he's got to be joking. He's like, but in all seriousness, how is everyone? I was like, okay, he is joking.
That's Snake Psych right now.
Chris said, Jim, I'm sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Nothing says family like being kicked out for stepping out of line with their political idea. Yeah, it's like, we're one big happy family. Also, fire Gina Carano.
Yeah, like I don't know. Sounds like a Thanksgiving with the family members you don't like.
I'm a proud housewife. Oh god. Anyway, let's keep going. Finding our rhythm.
Yeah.
Star Wars into the future.
And speaking of, we have other big news.
Well, I always said I wasn't going to do any more. That's true. I'm not going to do any more.
Oh, this is where they're going to announce the sequels. I'm pretty sure Bob Iger already announced it, but yeah.
Unwilling to turn it over to Kathy to do more. I have story treatments of 7, 8, and 9, and a bunch of other movies, and I was
he was still somewhat optimistic about this because he was under the impression that he was going to have his story treatments used. Yeah, that's the deal he made with Bob Iger. That's the handshake agreement that they had.
Yeah, and what makes this even more absurd is that he didn't just write like a single treatment for like a sequel. Like, he wrote multiple different versions. Disney had a buffet of story treatments from George Lucas. Because like that's why if you ever hear about people talk about what Lucas's sequels were going to be like, and you hear these wildly different ideas, that's because George Lucas wrote them a bunch of different treatments that they could have picked from. It's like they could have chosen any one of those scripts, and they kind of picked bits and pieces here and there for the sequels.
Yeah,
but it's like, but they didn't adapt his stories. They just sort of threw everything out and only picked like, I think like one of his screen like treatments had a character that was basically kind of like Rey, or a female protagonist, and then they were like, all right, we'll do that female protagonist. That's it. We got this. That's all we need. All right, JJ, write your movie. What? Right?
What is this secret art you speak of?
I thought you had a script for me. You want me to write? Looks at Lost.
Yeah. That's another thing apparently like that's gone downhill is Simpsons. Spike's pointing out for us.
Yep. And Disney now owns Simpsons.
I've actually what was I going to say? Regarding The Simpsons, I've actually watched certain episodes that Disney ran, like the Treehouse of Horror and stuff, and I thought like it definitely felt a little bit different, but I thought that the quality was actually kind of okay. Like I didn't see a huge drop in quality, but to be honest though, I haven't actually watched an extensive amount of the Disney produced Simpsons episodes.
Well, the downfall did start far before Simpsons. Simpsons was
already on the decline.
Yeah, I'm sure you could find like videos talking about like the downfall of The Simpsons. It seems like a video
think,
someone's made an hour.
I think
What?
Super Eye Patch Wolf made one of those. You see
Yeah,
him
like
around? Super Eye Patch Wolf?
yeah, I've seen it, but yeah, I mean, but I remember watching one like years ago, but I remember like people talk about how there was a downfall that happened after like the original creator like left, and it was I haven't watched Simpsons, but I think it's like season 8 or so. Like that was like I think don't quote me on this, guys, because I'm trying to remember what I had heard, but it was around that time when like the original creator left, other writers left, and then
Right.
the show started to go on a decline, and like this is where a lot of characters started to get what the term is flanderized, and that actually comes from the character of Ned.
Flanderized.
Yeah, flanderized is a term that especially came from Ned Flanders in Simpsons, where a character over the course of time they lose a lot of their nuance and multifaceted elements, and they get boiled down to like the most quote iconic elements or the stuff that people mostly associate with them. Like if a character is goofy, but they are also intelligent, they're thoughtful, but they're just really goofy. Over the course of time, being goofy will become their entire character. Like they'll lose everything else and become like one. They'll basically be reduced to one bullet point.
Yeah.
And that'll be cranked up to 11. So if a character was a little clueless at the beginning, by the like season 5 or 6, they'll be a complete numbskull who can't open a jar of pickles without someone telling them how to do it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And like a lot like basically stuff like that happened before Disney had taken Simpsons. But yeah, like that's just the problem of when you have a show, a series that goes on infinite, like on ad infinitum, like it has to keep going and going and going. You know, eventually, no matter how good it is, it will crash. Yeah, and Homer too. Homer also became flanderized.
Yeah. Back in 2012, people were still very against Lucas being involved because of the hate for the prequels was strong back then. Yep. So Disney didn't want to go with his treatments because fans wouldn't have liked it. I don't think that had to do... I mean, yes, they wanted to certainly distance the franchise from the prequels because they're fucking idiots. Because, I mean, even with the prequel hate, the prequel still had a huge fan base. The Clone Wars had a massive fan base.
Yeah,
and
but then
I think a lot of people agree that it's like the best era in Star Wars too. So why would you want to distance yourself from it?
Well,
like entirely,
like that does actually have a validity to it, because like if you remember before The Force Awakens came out, J.J. Abrams went on and on about how we have real practical special effects.
Oh god,
and it's so practical, unlike that like CGI. And like he never specifically said, "Oh, we're not the prequels," but it's very much what you can tell he was doing.
He was implying it.
Yeah. So yeah.
The irony in that is that the prequels had so many practical effects. The internet was just run by idiots at the time that were telling people that they did it. Like so much has come out about the prequels development now because people are actually paying attention and actually doing their research, and it's probably the biggest fucking hack job the internet has ever done on any set of movies ever. Like the amount of shit the internet got wrong about them when all this hate was coming out for them, it's just mind blowing how off they were.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, did I cut you off? I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. It's even more hilarious when the sequels abuse CGI like crazy. I'm like,
they went out into the desert. It's funny. Robot did this video about the behind the scenes on Rise of Skywalker. JJ took the whole production crew out into the desert to shoot against green screen, so we could have the lighting of the terrain. That's all it was used for. He wanted to get the lighting, but he still shot against green screen.
You have Disney money. You can make any lighting you want. Like, it's like if you're not going to use the background of the desert, then just let them shoot in a studio instead of putting it out in the hot sun for no reason.
The stagecraft technology they're using for Mandalorian is brilliant. I'll say that much. But, like, yeah, what they did for Rise of Skywalker was they just completely... He had a blank check, so he was just like, fuck it, I'm just doing everything I want. Doesn't care how much money you want. I mean, JJ, if you're gonna bring Disney closer to bankruptcy, I mean, I'm all for it, man. You waste as much money as you can to get people to different countries so you can shoot against green screen. By all means, but like
episode 9 was an inside job.
uh, yeah, but yeah, and just to finish what Bronze Alive was saying, but they still should have used them and not shut him out. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's like
Hold on.
that.
Yeah.
Oh no, you go.
I was gonna say, hold on to your own franchise like your life depends on it to your last breath. Amen, brother. Amen. Have we seen Nerdrotic's Apocalypta? I can't pronounce that. Apocrypha, whatever it's called. Was stolen from the sequels got stolen from George, and it's trouble production pretty well. I haven't seen those videos, but I've seen his excellent video about debunking how Star Wars was saved in the edit. I've seen that. I haven't watched. I'm kind of disinterested in sequel content, even stuff that's like critiquing the sequels or whatever. But Nerdonymous seems to like go a bit deeper than that. He seems to like do a lot of like almost like documentary style kind of.
Oh yeah, the sheer amount of research that he put in for that, Star Wars was saved in the edit video, was like incredible. Like all the books he read and the stuff he watched, it was crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, like when I see a video that deconstructs the sequels again, I was like, I feel like I've seen this video a zillion fucking times. I know what's wrong with the sequels. I don't need to watch this. In Nerdonymous's case, I might consider watching those vids because I mean he does seem to have some original shit to say. Finally, like that's what I look for in creators. I want creators that have original takes, even if their take agrees with the majority of what people are saying. I don't want them to parrot the other people. I want them to say what's on their mind. You know what I mean? Anyway, cool call. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. Even if some of those who aren't keen on these films have called out Plinkett's crappy arguments. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I'm glad they're getting called out.
Yeah, they need it because their videos, their prequel videos, are absolutely atrocious.
And they're the videos that the internet parrots, and the level of misinformation in those videos is absolutely fucking. It's just fucking staggering. Like, how did they get away with that? I have no idea. But
well, they were made. They were made in a time when significant production of YouTube videos wasn't the norm. So it's like, it's literally just because, oh my gosh, they made an hour's worth of talking about this. That's super crazy. Yeah, it's like, it's fun. It's funny now when I saw this video that was like a 7-hour video on Death Stranding. I'm like, oh yeah, like people can make long videos now. It's not out of place nowadays, but like, the Plinkett videos, it's like a lot of people watch them and they just never really thought about them. And a lot of people probably haven't seen them since they watched them years ago. And I can't tell you how many times, I'm sure other people have had this experience, how many times I've gotten to an argument with someone online about the prequels, and then they inevitably send a link to the Plinkett reviews and go, you should see this. This is going to prove you're wrong. And I start, bringing up how like nonsensical their arguments are, and then they immediately come back with, don't take it so seriously, it's just supposed to be jokes. It's like, what? You're the one who sent this to me as your argument.
Yeah, can't have your cake and eat it too. And it's funny that it's actually very ironic that I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the consume meme came from Red Letter Media.
Yes.
When you consider the Plinkett reviews and just how easily people ate them up.
Yeah,
the consume meme doesn't just apply to mainstream Hollywood products, does it? It also applies to creators in their videos. So yeah.
Please watch Plinkett video, then get ready to consume next Plinkett video.
Anyway, all right, let's get through this.
Yeah, we're halfway there.
It's really clear just how. I mean, we didn't plan to watch this video. It was just kind of there, and we're just like, yeah, let's watch it. But goddamn, is the picture so much clearer in retrospect? Especially after Bob Iger really, in a really dumb manner, released that book of his, that autobiography, and I don't know why. I mean, I'll thank him for it. Like, thank you for telling us the truth. But like, I don't know why you would think that was going to go down well with with your, your consumers. Like that you
He
backstabbed George Lucas.
he is so arrogant and self-absorbed that he probably didn't even think he did anything wrong. He probably is like, I made the greatest business deal of all time, and I got that stupid creator out of the way.
Mm.
And everyone is like, yikes.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh. I mean, because that book is what caused Jeremy Johns to completely 180 on all of his positions regarding.
I love Jeremy Johns. I think he's one of the, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not much for like first reaction kind of review style content. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm like, for example, I was a big fan of Chris Stuck. I still like Chris, but I don't watch his video style much more anymore. It's just not for me. But if I was going to watch, like, I still watch him a bit, but like, if I was going to watch content that's like first reactionary content, just to see, just to get a general take on, let's say, a movie or whatever, I would watch Jeremy Johns. He's the guy I would watch. I'd be like, okay, I can expect this, I can expect that, and I trust Jeremy to be honest is what's most important. Like,
Yeah.
I would, yeah, and he's like one of the few people I've seen that actually has backtracked and has done so openly. And I love how because he's a movie reviewer. He's like, people don't like to backtrack on, especially on the internet, because they don't like to admit they're wrong. And he's like, trust me, everybody wants to backtrack, they just don't. He's like, but I really don't give a shit. I'll you get new data and you process the new data, and that's absolutely true. You can find this in I think his video about Star Wars: The Fans versus Disney, and that's a very good video. And the video where he talks about George getting betrayed. I love how he delivers it, like, too. He's like, basically just admits, like, I was a prequel hater and we paved the way for these clowns to ruin George's product. And he's like, I'm sorry, George. And I was like, wow, he fucking nailed it.
Yeah, like, and it's such an admittance to have the clarity to realize this wasn't something that came out of nowhere. It was the years and years of people hating Lucas and really, really, like, thinking that he was a monster for ruining Star Wars, when in reality, all they were doing was setting him up to sell it to the people who would ruin Star Wars.
Mm. Yeah. Well, anyway. Yeah, people really don't like Chris Stuckman in the chat.
Nope.
He's all right. Come on. He's all right. At least he fucking went to film school. At least he actually fucking graduated. At least I think he did.
Yeah.
Some comments.
Many people who like to criticize this kind of stuff are the film school dropouts. So at least Chris actually fucking completed it. Anyway. Bob Iger is also having an eye for politics. Rule number 1 of politics: don't piss off Star Wars fans.
Yeah, that's actually a list in the book for the rules of politics is don't piss off Star Wars fans.
This guy's saying, like, NOMZ, you should invite Jeremy Johns to one of your podcasts. Okay, 2 things. Firstly, I don't think Jeremy does podcasts, and 2, the guy probably hates my guts because I made a video criticizing his comparison with Anakin and Daenerys.
Daenerys, yeah.
But look, that's honestly, if I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't make that video because, like, of how much he's backtracked on, that kind of mentality he used to have. But, like, I mean, I still think it was a good comparison to make. Not a good comparison to make, but a good thing to respond to. But, like, and just say, no, you can't really equate that. It's a false equivalence. But, like, that aside, like, when I made that video, I was peeved at Jeremy, but I wasn't mad. I didn't hate the guy. So he probably thinks I hate him when I really don't. My animosity starts and ends with that topic. It's like, I have nothing against the guy personally. And it's actually quite the opposite. I'm actually quite fond of Jeremy.
I think the bigger issue would be just trying to contact him to come on because he's such a big channel. Like that's trying to get someone with millions of subs to come on to a smaller channel is always going to be, hard.
All right, yeah, let's keep going with the vid. Sorry, sent to
Imagine.
do something.
So, I sort of moved that treasure trove of stories and various things to Kathy, and I have complete confidence that she's going to take them and make great movies.
We are absolutely going to.
Oh, Georgie, boy.
Oh,
man.
Things that did not age well.
It's just so hard to watch in retrospect. Yeah, keep going.
Wars movies, and we're in the midst of the really fun part of the process, which is we're sitting down with a couple of writers and we're starting to discuss ideas and we're starting to talk about what those stories might be. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be entirely because it's important that he at least continue to be the little guardian angel on my shoulder, helping.
It's not stopping.
In hologram now.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That wasn't your fault. I don't know what that was. Yeah, backtrack a little bit, just a tad, like 20 seconds. Yeah, okay. Pause. Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, she says we're speaking. Okay, here's the first problem I have. That should be a red flag. We're speaking to a couple of writers about first off, what those stories might be. Again, it's been revealed they didn't really have a plan, but like the first red flag for anything, like creative wise, is that if you're speaking to multiple writers, like that's I don't think that's going to work. Like I don't think that ever works really, because those writers are not going to have the same fucking vision. They're going to want to do their own thing, and their stories aren't going to mix and match. They aren't going to follow any cohesion. One person's going to zig and the other person's going to zag.
Well, and the implication would be from George's perspective that they're going over all of his story treatments and figuring out, okay, we want to do this, and we want to do this. But we know that by this point, they've already decided they're just going to throw everything he does out. And they're just going to do whatever they want. So she's saying, yeah, we're figuring out what we're going to do. Screw George. Like the second this interview is over, I'm going to stab him in the back. So turn the cameras off, please.
Yeah. Yeah, but then she says what their stories might be. Like, we're trying to decide what the stories might be. It's like,
you never decided anything.
Well, yeah, I didn't decide anything. But like, also, shouldn't you already know if George already gave you the story treatments? Obviously, he doesn't know yet that they're not going to use them, but like, red flags are all fucking over this.
Well, yeah, and it's not we're talking with George about what movies to do. It's we got our writers, which was J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's keep going. We're almost there.
We're sitting down with a couple of writers and we're starting to discuss ideas and we're starting to talk about what those stories might be. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be entirely on my own because it's important that he at least continue to be the little guardian angel on my shoulder, helping me do this.
They're finishing the hologram now. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and how much of that did you actually fucking listen to, you cunt? Because if you listened, you wouldn't have wound up with the sequel trilogy.
Guardian
Angel my ass. He didn't use any of his story treatments. He completely stabbed. She's smiling.
Oh well,
smiling, lying through her teeth.
And the way she worded this, like notice how she worded it. She was like, "Yeah, we're talking to a couple of writers to figure out what we want to do," and then she's like, "And we're gonna make sure that we're talking to George. He's gonna be the guardian angel on my shoulder." And it's like that was probably her going, "Oh crap! Wait, no, we can't let him know that we're excluding him from our meetings." So I'm going to talk about how important it is for him to be involved. It's like because she didn't want it to sound too suspect.
Yeah.
Ugh, she's so slimy.
You know what, guys? Sometimes I hate democracy. Well, here's the thing. But here's the thing, Skids. I don't think it's democracy. I think Lucasfilm is a dictatorship, and Disney's a dictatorship, and it's all. There ain't no democracy there.
Yeah,
Otherwise, she would have got voted the fuck out.
Kathleen Kennedy is like, I love democracy. I love Star Wars.
Oh God. Kathleen Kennedy ruined my 1970s Star Wars, and the Muppets go away now. Anyway, let's keep going. We need to hug George.
My Yoda
Yes, we do.
has to be there.
I'm doing this so that the films will have a longer life, and so that more fans and people can enjoy them into the future. It's a very big universe I've created, and there's a lot of stories that are sitting in there.
The main thing is to protect these characters, make sure that they still continue to live in the way that you created them, and that the universe of Star Wars continues to grow.
That's the worst fucking. There's a reason why I use it in the Revenge of the Prequels intros, is because it's just. Wow, man. This might be the most poorly aged interview I think I've ever seen in my life.
Well, and it's like, with the full context of knowing just how much she and Bob Iger were planning to screw him over, like, she's just lying through her teeth in this interview just for the sake of George. Like, we're saying this so that he feels more comfortable with the cell until we're ready to cut him off completely.
Like Charlie's comment.
Yeah. Yeah. What was that? What was that line?
Piece of shit. Yeah.
What was that line from that one Super Wog video from the dating one with the dad, and he's like, what did he say?
He's a fucking shit cunt.
Yes.
I love that line from Super Wog. Yeah. That's how Australians talk. It's like, we're a fucking shit cunt. However, if I called her a sick cunt, that's actually a compliment. That's the dialogue we work over here. We're very primitive people, Australians. How we communicate. Anyway, I'm probably gonna get the stream demonetized as well, but fuck it, guys, we're wigging this.
You know what I'm
about Super Wog. It's fine. What? Sorry.
You know what, Anomaly? I just want to tell you, you are a sick cunt.
Thank you. Thank you. I could think of no higher praise.
the best way to compliment an Australian.
Actually, I think if we're going into the hierarchy of cunt compliments, I think mad cunt trumps sick cunt, but I don't know. I still got to do my research on that one. What Australia thinks the ultimate cunt compliment is. Anyway, so anyway. Blemished Halo. How spineless you have to be to lie in such a degree and keep a poker face on. Oh man, they're all fucking two-faced cunts, man. They're all ugh.
Oh yeah.
It's a lesson for life, guys. You know, not everything is what it seems. You keep a close eye on the people who are trying to coax you up to you. That's Spike. It's like, she said it. She said the line. She said the thing. Yeah. There it is. The intro to Revenge of the Prequels. Yeah, it's part of the intro. What was I looking at? $4. Thanks, buddy. She can't keep getting away with it. She can't keep getting away with it. I'm pretty sure that's referencing Breaking Bad. I hope he is.
Yeah, that is. That's the
okay.
meme.
Good. All right, it's a good line. I've waited. Tyrant, how you doing, buddy? I've waited ever since 2015 for Disney Star Wars to fail. I feel so vindicated. Wow, so you must have been like you must have been one of those people walking out of The Force Awakens, sick as a dog, I'd imagine. Cool, man. You're in good company. Well,
yeah.
I mean, it took you a little bit longer than the first day, but
yeah, it was like early January for me.
Yeah,
it
didn't take too long for it to click for you, though.
Yeah.
Fuck it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Anyway, yeah, no, it took me till like 5 days after TLJ released to really turn on Disney, to realize what it is. See it for what it is. Erodians as well. Erodians losing it. Shut the blank up already, Ku Klux Kennedy. You sociopathic. He can't use. He can't. He can't. We know what he's saying, but he can't actually type that because it won't show. I don't think it might actually. Let's not test it, but yeah. I mean, hell, if Joey's comment comes up, then I guess yeah. Anywho. Yes, it was Jesse. Okay, cool. Yeah, it was a breaking. He was referencing Breaking Bad. Anyway, let's get to the end, man. We're almost there. Suck it up.
What I was saying before.
And that the universe of Star Wars continues to grow.
I get to be a fan now, which is what I was saying before, and I should look forward to it. It's a lot more fun actually than actually having to go out in the mud. And
you could actually blog about what we're doing and how we're messing things up.
No.
Well, he can't because you made him sign an NDA. He called you guys out for being like the white slavers who take everything and fucking ruin it. And he's been suspiciously fucking quiet about you guys ever since then. So, yeah, he can't blog about that. Anyway. Tyrant 1996. I grew up with the prequels, and I remember Star Wars YouTube channel uploaded that video where they had real special effects. That threw me off so fast from the sequels. Yeah, so you recognized right away, did you? Yeah.
Well, yeah,
we got a based cunt in the fucking chat here, and based cunt is also a compliment. So, yeah, man, this guy was ahead of the curve.
Well, yeah, and I remember those videos. I think what you're talking about is one of the videos that I saw too. Was that the one where J.J. Abrams was like he was right next to a model of like a full-size model of an X-wing, and he was like, "We're being so practical, guys, so practical." Because I remember there was one specific video that really put me off, and I'm like, "Oh," because then I remember he also did an appearance at a convention, and he also said similar stuff about that. And I'm like, he's like, "Well, unlike we're gonna have a like real." Practical special effects, and they really rammed that phrase down people's throats. But it's practical effects. Look at BB-8; it's so practical. It's like they did. It's like you know why they were saying it, because it was all about trying to ride the prequel haters, because that's what they were trying to appeal to. That's why that's why Force Awakens was just a really terrible rehash of A New Hope.
I don't know. I forget a lot of the marketing for Force Awakens, but I have seen some. I have gone back and checked out like some people's reactions to it, and like I remember Chris Stockman making a big deal about the whole practical effects thing and the fact that J.J. Abrams was directing. He was really high on that, and yes, he took a big dump all over the sequels, etc., etc. But beyond that, I don't really know too much because like I kind of stayed away from the Force Awakens build up until right before it came out. I did pay attention to the Last Jedi's build up though. Anyway. Okay, we're almost there. Let's get there.
Oh, come on.
Is it doing that thing again?
Yeah.
I think it's because it's on a tab.
We're out in the snow and it's cold.
It's not on YouTube.
And hopefully it'll be an inspiring package of entertainment that it has always been well into the future.
That's so depressing looking back on that. All right. Hey, we're recommended. Look at that. Go up, scroll up.
Oh yeah.
Hey, there we are. Hey guys. Anyway, so let's finish reading this article, this cringe fest of an article. So to Disney, Lucasfilm went with Kennedy at the helm. Many outside the industry assume her job involves more hands-on collaboration on creative projects. But there's a reason Lucas handpicked someone to run things at the top level. Sometimes when your true passion is making art, you don't want to handle more of the business elements than you have to. That's what Kennedy does. Wait, what? When she's passionate about creating arts, what? The reason he handpicked her to run things at the top level. Sometimes when your true passion is making art, you don't want to handle more of the business elements than you have to. That's what Kennedy does. So wait, she can't. That doesn't make sense. Does she care about making art? Wouldn't she want to be hands on with the?
Lucas. So it's saying Lucas. Sometimes when Lucas's true passion is making art, you don't want to handle more of the business elements than you have to. That's what.
Oh,
Kennedy
I see. Okay, so it's basically saying Lucas's true passion is making art. Kennedy runs the business because he doesn't want to deal with that shit anymore. But it's not like they kept him in control.
No, he wasn't involved at all.
Also, mods, we got a.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
One sec. We're working on it, guys. We got it. Is it working? Okay. God. Jeez.
Gosh dang it, bots.
Remember that time? I think this happened in also Replica. If you're going to talk shit about the bots, you're not meant to spam as well. Anyway, remember there was that time where like this guy was streaming. I think it was last year, or maybe it was the year before that. I don't know, but like remember this guy was streaming, and then we got like a whole bunch of spam bots, and they say go look at this guy's stream, and he was just this gamer, this regular gamer. And then we went over there and we gave him a taste of his own medicine. I don't know if you're on that one, but
yeah.
Did you remember that one?
Yeah,
it was a long time ago. All water under the bridge. Anomaly Inc is like my spirit animal. Everything he says is what I've been thinking for the past 6 years. Happy to be of service. Jack Scarrata, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Nice Sonic icon, by the way. Looks like he's like had a bad day at work and he's just trying to like cope with his migraine. Anyway, KK's contract got renewed. So much for Doomcock, and his Lucasfilm Civil War fanfic. Yeah.
Well,
Doomcock tends to put out. I mean, he's not always right, but he tends to. I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of his stuff. That's the thing. I do hear when he puts out a story, but he's only occasionally accurate based on what I've heard.
He reports on basically every rumor he hears, which like has always been hit or miss because some stuff can change and some stuff is accurate, some stuff is not. The thing with this is that I honestly believe that there are a good number of people who work in Lucasfilm that don't like Kathleen Kennedy. The problem is,
I imagine she's hated by a lot of people.
Yeah,
but they're all sworn to silence, and
that's the problem is that the people above Kathleen Kennedy love her, so the people below can't do anything. Even people who make their shows and movies and stuff, like look what happened to what was his name? The guy who was going to do episode 9 that got kicked off.
One more time?
He was the Jurassic World guy.
Chris Pratt?
No. Colin Trevorrow. No. Like,
that director. Yeah.
Yeah, because Colin Trevorrow was going to make episode 9, but because he had an argument with Rian Johnson, he was kicked off because he wanted Luke alive so that he can use him in his episode 9. Because we got bits about what his Duel of the Fates movie would have been, and it wouldn't have been great, but it would have felt like it was at least trying to do something. Because it's like when you looked at some of the interesting stuff that was going on, it's like that actually would have been way better than what we got. Like you actually would have had Luke training Rey. Rey would have gotten a double-ended lightsaber.
Yeah,
it was like that. And that's what everyone wanted her to get. Like that was a lightsaber everyone thought would be perfect for her. But and it's just. But then no, we didn't get that. We got Palpatine coming back.
Yeah, it was just. Oh Lord.
So yeah, it's like no one who works at Lucasfilm can do anything to fight Kathleen Kennedy. Like I honestly do believe there is a civil war, but the problem is that when the people who have absolute control of the company, which is Kathleen Kennedy, are in the are in control, that you can't do anything. And like I wouldn't doubt that there are plenty of people who are trying to get Kathleen Kennedy ousted, but they can't. They can't because the people that are Kathleen Kennedy's bosses love her and they'll keep her around because of politics. So
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I think a lot of people really buy into this. Like a lot whenever they hear about it, because those rumors have been going on since The Last Jedi came out. Like there have always been rumors about how Kathleen Kennedy is for sure going to get fired, because of this. And reasonably speaking, she should be. She should have been fired. Like
Absolutely.
anyone else in that position would have been fired for what happened. Like The Last Jedi, maybe not, but after Solo bombed, her head should have been on a plate. Like if any other producer was like doing this stuff, they would have had their head on a plate. Disney would have had them killed for losing them billions of dollars. So it's just it's like, yeah, I really would want her out, and everyone who has sense wants her out. And like whenever there are rumors that people like her maybe not coming back yet, but it's like, yeah, it's whenever there's a rumor that comes out, everyone wants to believe it. But I like, as much as I'd like it to be true, I've never believed it, because after the first time, because after the whole Last Jedi and Solo stuff happened, and she didn't get fired for that. At that point, I was like, oh, so like she would literally have to commit murder for them to even consider firing her, because they just don't want to.
Blemish Taylor has a good comment here. If Kathleen Kennedy is gone, she will just be replaced by another executive like her. The name will change. The director of Lucasfilm will not. So I think that's an interesting point. I think it's really worth discussing. So like, yeah, I think you're right, because it's not just the leadership of Lucasfilm that's fucked, it's the whole company. It's bred out with fucking, I mean, don't worry, there's some good people there, but it's also been like pretty much bred out with the narcissistic, petty fucking children who run the companies, who try to push politics, who get easily offended and take criticism as like personal attacks, and fire good people that don't meet their vision because they can't take criticism. They, you know what I mean? Like the whole company is like that, with a few exceptions. So chances are, like someone else replacing her would also have the same sort of mindset as her. But the real issue here is that the fact that this person, the person who ruined Star Wars to begin with, she is going to be the
she's going to continue to be in charge.
Yeah, she's going to be. Sorry, I was just dealing with something here. She's going to be continuing her contract when she's done everything possible, and by all rights, she's done everything possible to ruin the company and the IP, and she's essentially getting rewarded for it. That's the problem. You don't reward incompetence, you punish incompetence. Unfortunately, though, Disney Lucasfilm is not the real world, and it's unfortunately run by people who don't live in the real world either. So, yeah, that doesn't happen. I mean, there's someone in chat put it very nicely. Hollywood's the only place where you can fail up.
Oh yeah,
Anyway.
and it's as long as you have the right politics, then you can stay as long as you want. But it's like you have to have the wrong opinions. You can fail as much as you want, losing millions, if not billions, of dollars. You can stay as long as you have the right thoughts. You have wrong thought, wrong think, then yeah, you're out.
Yeah. Let's keep going with the article. According to Lucasfilm, as president of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy oversees the company's 3 divisions: Lucasfilm, Industrial Light and Magic, and Skywalker Sound. While she has been the executive producer on multiple projects since her role began, typically the president of a major corporation is primarily a top-level manager. They make sure that everyone and everything that happens at their respective company adheres to its mission. Its mission, values, and goals. Oh, so she is completely to blame for everything that's gone wrong. I mean, we knew that, but it's nice to see it in writing.
Yeah.
They might be involved in overarching creative decisions, but their main job is to keep all the moving parts of a business running at their full, often interconnected potential. Judging by Lucas's original faith in Kennedy and yet another contract renewal, there's no one in charge questioning... There's no one in charge questioning Kennedy's capabilities as a leader. Probably one because she is in charge, and 2, if they did question her, they'd be out on the fucking street. That's why no one's questioning her. Doesn't mean doesn't mean everyone likes her over there. I'd argue it's probably the exact opposite. X to doubt.
Yeah. Kathleen's absolutely
X to doubt. George Lucas was more about diversity than anyone at Lucasfilm. Yeah, and his products showed that, but it didn't rely on that, and it didn't try to make a big deal out of it. I mean, he made Samuel L. Jackson the second strongest Jedi in the entire galaxy.
Yeah, like
they turned John Boyega into a janitor. That's the difference.
Yeah, and Lando Calrissian was a highly respected businessman and basically the governor of Cloud City.
And he became a general.
Yeah, and then he became a general. It's just like, yeah, but Lucas didn't do that because he was black. He did it because these are the characters that I created. They just happen to be played by these actors, and it's like that's it. Because he didn't do it for brownie points. He didn't go, oh, I totally hired this guy just because he was black. Like, no, he hired Billy D. Williams because he was a suave, charismatic man. He fit the bill for Lando Calrissian so well because of his air, his confidence, his personality. He fit it so well. It's like, yeah, that's why he chose him. And Samuel L. Jackson, like, you know, he can do the very, like, he looks really, because he can be really intimidating when he wants to be, and that's perfect for Mace Windu.
Yeah,
it's like he chooses these actors based on their ability, not check boxes.
What does it say? Sorry, I'm just looking at chat. There's some funny burn the heretics. Anyway, we're almost done with the article. Judging by Lucas's original faith in Kennedy, it's more than likely you recognize a minimum. What?
Judging by Lucas's original faith in Kennedy and yet another contract renewal, there's no one in charge questioning Kennedy's capabilities as a leader. No one in charge, but everyone else.
I think we already covered that part of the article. But yeah, there's no one in charge questioning her capabilities as a leader. It's more than likely you recognize a minimum handful of projects she has produced, many of them outside of Star Wars, responsible for overseeing the people and processes that will continue to bring breathtaking stories to life. Well, I mean, it depends on how. I mean, breathtaking can be a compliment and insult as well. And
He
I
did
would say that
terrible. He did great things. Terrible, fun, great.
Well, I mean, yeah, like fucking the sequels certainly took my breath away, just not in the way that they were intending.
Yeah.
Yeah, team to bring breathtaking stories to life. Kennedy has already more than proven she belongs. Wow, what a fucking shill cunt, honestly.
Man,
Here's to 3 more years and many more to come. Go fuck yourself. Fucking, this article should be burnt.
Jeez,
Burn it.
I couldn't quite
Get
hear
it
what
out
they
of
were
my
saying.
sight.
I couldn't quite hear what they were saying with Disney's dick down their throat.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, 2 days ago. Like 2 days
yeah.
ago. This was written 2 days ago, and it feels like it was written back in 2012.
Look at this. Fan-sided. Yeah, this is not a fan-sided article. Fucking... Yeah, anyway. Out of touch much. Anyway. All right, is that article, and that is kind of... All right, let's continue on. Let's have a look at a contrived black man. It's got John Boyega as the...
Right!
It's so fitting. Anyway, no one wants to mention how they did the token Hispanic Poe and how he somehow used to smuggle spice across the border. Anyway,
Well, yeah,
that's pretty on the nose too.
Yeah, and what's even dumber is that if you know like the backstory he had, like that makes zero sense because his parents were like really respected like rebellion members who worked with Luke, Han, and Leia. So like he should really be like an upstanding guy, like a Boy Scout. And they're like, no, he's Hispanic. Yeah, he did drugs. He did drug runner, and everyone's like, wait, what?
Yeah. Deus Vault. Is it time for the Crusades?
Deus Vault! Deus Vault!
Deus Vault. Oh, okay. It must have misspelled. Okay. Yeah, I don't quite get that quote. But like, yeah, so... Can't imagine anyone thinking about the business renewed this chick's contract, all right? Either she renewed it herself or they renewed it based on, saving face for their politics because they can't kick a I think it's what we came up with. They can't kick a strong independent woman out of her position of power because that goes against their entire narrative. Is that what we kind of settled on?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense from, if we were to put ourselves in the mindset of those dumb cunts, then yeah, it makes sense. But from a business perspective, it doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. And it amazes me to this day how nobody thinks about business anymore. Like, these companies want to preach; they don't want to make money, or they want to make money and preach at the same time. But like, there is a way to have your priority be about making money and still deliver a good product. What's a good example? Anyone? Like Joker, for instance. I know you're not a big fan of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, but like, you can't say that movie didn't have both money and the that movie's priorities were obviously making money, but also telling a good story, and apparently the studio, I heard, I don't know if chat told me this, I don't know if I read it in a YouTube comment, but apparently they weren't gonna do the story Todd Phillips wanted to do unless it was a Joker story. Like, it had to be attached to a comic book IP.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe Joker isn't the best example. What is a good example then? Where they, making money is the priority, but it's also trying to do something good. I don't know.
I mean, there's been plenty of stories that have had some kind of like political or moral stuff in it, like the X-Men series. How about that? X-Men comics, like those
Right.
were obviously heavily inspired by like civil rights stuff, and but the thing that the reason why everyone likes it is because it was well done. It was had well written characters and good stories. because while there were obviously political inspirations, it wasn't literally just sitting there preaching at you all the time for nonsense.
Well, do you guys remember that fucking that trend? That I think Dune is going to reintroduce the trend, but they split the books up into parts because they wanted to drag it out and milk money.
The thing with Dune is that it's a huge book. Like, just the first book is huge. So, like, a lot of people have actually, even people who've read the books that I've heard, say that it should be three movies instead of two, because there's just that much stuff in the book that, like, even with what they did, like, I know a lot of people. I remember I watched Anna's drunken review of Dune, and one of the things that she criticized it for was that, you know, even if it's accurate in a lot of ways, it cut out several important stuff, which I would presume that a lot of that was cut for time, because it's already like, the movie is already pretty long. But it's like, okay, yeah, but you have, like, it's like the Lord of the Rings. It's like, okay, like it would be like trying to do the theatrical cuts. It's like, yeah, like you need the extended versions to get like all the important stuff in. Like, they still have to, even with the extended versions, like 3.5 to 4 hour movies, they still cut out massive amounts of the books because there's just so much in it.
Tyrant sums it up well. Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Hobbit, they all did it. Harry Potter introduced the trend, and I think the Divergent series killed it because they tried to split their third book into 2 parts, and that third movie did so piss poorly. Yeah, bombed. And then she was like, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. And thankfully so, because it means we didn't get 50 Shades of Grey's third book split into 2 parts when they made those movies. Oh, God.
Yeah, but Blemished Halo is saying, I listened to the audiobook of Dune, which is 21 hours long. Not a short book. Yeah, like, again, this is something that would need a series of movies, or at least a really, really well done miniseries to cover what needs to be covered in it.
I've got the book for Dune. Like, I've got the Dune book, and I actually, fun fact, I started reading it, and I haven't picked it up since because, again, I'm just not a very good reader. I have to get in the right mindset for reading, but I started reading the Dune book, and then later that day I checked YouTube, and the teaser had dropped that day. And I was like, oh, that's a coincidence. Go figure. Anyway, Skid says, so NOMZ a cool man. What do you think of Dune the movie? I haven't seen it. I can't see it in Australia. I mean, I'm going to watch it in the movie theater. I'm not going to watch it on, I'm not going to stream it or anything like that. Some people chose to. I think they're just doing themselves a massive disservice. So I'm going to wait to see it in the theaters. Problem is, I can't see it in the theaters until next month. So I still haven't seen it. Still have no idea. I've just heard really good things about it for the most part.
Yeah.
What about you?
I haven't seen it. I barely even watched the old movie from the 80s. I'm not a big Dune fan, so I haven't read the book. I haven't watched the movie. I watched a bit of the 80s movie, but like I barely remember any of it because it was so long ago.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch the new Dune movie. I do want to know what my dad thinks of it, because my dad is a huge Dune fan. Read the books like religiously when he was younger.
Okay.
Because I remember the only time I ever watched the original Dune movie was because it was on, and my dad went on and on talking about the inaccuracies to the books, what they got wrong, what they left out, and how all this stuff didn't get explained, yada yada yada. Like, I'd like to know what his thoughts are on the new Dune movie, because he's the one I know would have a pretty complex thoughts on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's good. You'd certainly get a fan's perspective there. And I always say fans are the best critics, because they know when their IP's been botched, because they spend the most time watching it, because they're the ones who watch it on. They rewatch and they rewatch, and they know the details, as opposed to someone who's just trying to get into it just so they can run their mouth about it. You know what I mean? You get plenty of those. Dune is on HBO Max, is it not? Or are you just saving time? No, I just want to watch it in theaters. I want to have, the same experience theater wise as I did when I watched Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? Like, because I've been told Dune is the sci-fi equivalent of Lord of the Rings. Can't speak for the movie, but apparently the book is that. So ideally, you'd want, like, I used to get kind of baffled why people go to the movies to watch like a romantic comedy or whatever. I can understand, you know, doing that for a date or something, but like, you know, or, you know, couples going out, whatever, watching a romantic comedy or watching just regular comedies. Like if you wanted to go watch, for example, Step Brothers at the theaters and whatnot. But like I never understood. Like you can watch comedies anywhere really. You know, you want to go to the theater for movies that are designed to be watched in the theater, like, you know, for the sound and the picture and you know, and the atmosphere and all those things coming together. It's kind of wasted on something like Step Brothers or, you know, What Happens in Vegas or, you know, whatever the fuck. But like, for example, sci-fi fantasy, comic book movies, even though I, you know, agree with Scorsese that they're kind of ruining cinema at the moment, or lending to the problem that's drowning out a lot of good movies. You know, comic book movies are ideally watched in the theaters. Action movies, like action movies, thrillers are also excellent for the movie theater because of the atmosphere. But yeah, you don't want to go watch the movies you can just watch anywhere, like, you know, sit on your sofa and just have virtually the same experience. You know what I mean? Anyway, hopefully that makes enough sense. Vindicator says, read the book first. I want to, maybe I will if I have the time, but I'm pretty flat out this week. I actually was meant to have a video out for you guys this morning, but like I've just been so tired and trying to get it done, and you know, the hours rack up on your body and on your mind, and it's hard to.
Yeah,
but Coolman's seen the draft of the video that's coming out, and what did you think of it?
Oh, I think it's quite good. I can't wait for the final product.
Yeah, I can't wait to put the memes in and stuff.
Like I know when I was listening to it, like there were some parts where I knew what meme you're gonna use.
Yeah. Can you message me, put in the private chat? Tell me what meme you thought I was going to use at the beginning of the video. If you can remember.
I'll have to go back and give it another listen to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you don't have to. It's just like I would. If you got that, I'd be like, he gets it. He's on the same frequency. Anyway. But yeah, hopefully I can read Dune. It's not like I don't want to. It's just, and I imagine the viewing experience will be better because there are some things that only book readers would know that they didn't have time to explain. But like kind of like the Eagles and Lord of the Rings. But anyway, how to describe Dune? Joel's super chat. How to describe Dune? You were on drugs while on drugs, and it's all coherent. That sounds like an awesome time. And Adam Lauer, I can't pronounce. I'm sorry. Love you, NOMZ. Heart emoji. Thanks, pal. Back at ya. Thanks for tuning in. Read the first half of Dune before seeing it. Okay, Ghost. Okay.
Yeah, maybe you can get that audiobook and listen to it.
I still got to get the Song of Ice and Fire audiobooks. I might get that. I don't know. I might get them for Christmas or something. I don't know. It's not exactly something I want to go out of my way to get. Fans are the best critics except for the well, I mean that's the difference between fans and fanboys, isn't it? Like I always say fans are the best critics, but the reason I think I kind of want to make a video about this, just talking about, because like the Scorsese one didn't get the most views, but like it was very positively received and people seem to like those kind of topical videos. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do a video why fans are the best critics. Because that's to distinguish between fans and fanboys. You say, like, well, aren't fans biased? It's like, yes, but fans are also honest with themselves. Fanboys, fangirls are not. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah. For example, like in regards to the show RWBY, like there are a lot of fans who even in the early seasons, back when the show was in its heyday, were critical of some aspects of it, and deservedly so, because there were some rough production issues in the beginning, some storytelling that could have been fleshed out a little bit better. But like you would think, okay, that stuff would get fixed, but then the problems started getting worse and worse, especially after Monty Elm died. And then people started getting more critical and pointing out a lot of these flaws, and the creators decided not to listen to them and only listen to the fanboys who were like, oh, this is amazing, I love everything about it, you're flawless. And that's the difference between fans and fanboys. Like, fans can be critical, they'll love it, but they'll also be critical when something isn't being done right. And it's your job as a creator to parse through the criticisms from the fans and to be able to figure out, okay, what is legitimate criticism? And because there's, oh, too much CGI, I hate it, that's not like a real valid criticism. Oh, the story in this part wasn't as well constructed as it should have been, this character wasn't as fleshed out. That's just like, you pay attention to what's really done. That's what creators need to do, instead of just listening to like fanboys who praise them for everything.
Four blocks sums it up pretty reasonably well. Fans criticize it because they love it. Yeah, it's because they love it. Because they love it, that they have a well-versed take on it. Because again, they who watches a product more than the fans who love it? Nobody. It's because they love it. They're fans. It's like for example. Okay, put it this way. The best example I think I can give is like pro wrestling, right? Now, you have the smarter, like, pseudo-intellectual cunts who come in and say, oh, pro wrestling's fake, ha 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 ha. Now, the pro wrestling fan is just going to laugh at that person and just be like, yeah, I know, dipshit. You think I couldn't figure that out for myself? That's not why I love it. I love it because it's entertaining. When pro wrestling's done right, you tell good stories, you get immersed, you get into the atmosphere, etc., etc. Obviously, pro wrestling's not for everybody, but like, you got these people who aren't fans of the product who come in and think they can tell the fan why it's bad, and the fan's just going to laugh at them because no. The person who's out of touch and isn't a fan of the product is not going to know what the hell they're talking about. For most of their take anyway, because they're not going to understand it to the same degree. At the same time, you get, let's say, a guy who comes in and wants to tell a pro wrestling fanboy that wrestling isn't real. You're going to get, I mean, obviously, like, it's pretty common fucking knowledge that wrestling's fake. But there are the select few out there that'll be like, no, wrestling's real. Don't tell me otherwise. Wrestling's real. You don't know what you're talking about. That's where you get the people who are, well, like you said, not necessarily insane, but like, they're clouded by bias. They can't be reasoned with. They won't accept flaws in their art, etc., etc. And yeah, exactly. Hopefully I summed that up nice enough there. Fanboys are stans are the same. Yes, they are, aren't they? That's right. Thanks, Ambox. I appreciate the comment, and I like seeing more members in the chat. It's cool, and they get to tune in. Cough, cough, fairy tale haters. I mean, honestly, I might be in the fairy tale fanboy category. I know fairy tale has a shit ton of problems, but I watch that shit. I watch Fairy Tale daily. I'll put on like random episodes, and it's almost like my escape, my wind down from work or from video editing. I adore Fairy Tale, and I will make a video about why people should watch it. I want to make a few anime videos, but if I ever get around to it. Artsy, hello everyone. Hello. Vindicator, he's like, the movie is really good, but it's even better if you know the book and if you know more and have the book knowledge. Yeah, I'd imagine it would be. What does Kathleen Kennedy get rewarded? She gets rewarded 3 more years of a job. That's what she... when people have been fired for exponentially less because they're incompetents, and you're not meant to reward incompetence, you're meant to punish it. So, yeah. So can we expect the video tomorrow? I hope so, buddy. I really would like to put this one out. As quickly as possible, just so I can move on to other stuff. I will actually make a follow-up video to this one because I have some more stuff to say. But yeah, we've got some late arrivals to the stream. It's nice to see everyone in here. Thank you for joining. I think we'll wrap this up in about 5 minutes, though.
Yeah.
We said everything we want to say. Now we're just having some wind down time, just talking about some random shit. Lee Mitchell Fit. Well, Star Trek and Doctor Who and Star Wars have fallen, and Marvel isn't far behind. Kathleen Kennedy needs to go, and yes, indeed.
I would say Marvel has already well fallen, especially if you're talking about the comics. Like they've
Yeah,
fallen.
I think the comics have fallen way harder than the movies have. I think, based on what
yeah.
I've seen. I'm not even an avid comic reader. Part of that reason, I actually love comics. I love reading comics way more than I like reading novels. But sorry, I read Charlie. I'm not putting that comment up, but just letting you know. It made me laugh. Fuck, Charlie, you made me lose my. What was I talking about, cool man?
We were wrapping it up.
No. We're talking about. I said I was about to wrap it up, but we're talking about. Fuck, I forget. Damn it, Charlie.
Well, we were talking about Marvel.
That's it. Yeah. One of the reasons I thank you. I was like, one of the reasons I didn't. One of the reasons I haven't gotten really into Marvel comics, at least the recent ones, is because of how I'm told by everyone, and I've seen that they're just crap. They're garbage. They're just mouthpieces for politics and nothing more. Some of the older comics, like back from like I've read some of the Deadpool comics from 2008, which were pretty fun. I've read the New 52 Batman, which you hate, but I found okay because I mean they didn't seem like they were pushing politics. It sounded like the story's pretty good, based on what I read. Obviously, I haven't read the old school Batman comics. I've heard Dark Knight Returns and Killing Joke are excellent. But what, you don't like those either?
Oh, they certainly have their own problems. Like they're well regarded, but like it's mainly I find them to be mostly like edgy Batman stuff.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
The Killing Joke is also what crippled Barbara Gordon for no reason other than because they just got rid of the character. It's a miracle that other writers came up and created Oracle, and that they basically improved Barbara Gordon's character because the Killing Joke, like Barbara Gordon gets crippled.
Yeah,
that's it. She's barely in the story, and the whole story should be about her. It's really not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard Killing Joke, the movie, is
the movie is absolutely atrocious.
Trash. Yeah, I've heard
it's never watched the movie.
Anyway, you like the Court of Owls storyline? I love it too, man. Fuck Cool Man. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Disregard.
No, I hate the entire existence of the Court of Owls.
I like it. Thought it was alright. Thought it was an interesting story. Yo Noms, what up? Just woke up. We're about to wrap up, dude. But it's cool that you made it at least. Hey Bolts, glad you can make it too. Me, Noms releases the Fairy Tale vid. Me watches vid. Also me continues not to watch Fairy Tale. Watch Black Clover. I watched Black Clover, at least the dub, and I got sick of that show within the first episode. I hated the dub for that. I couldn't stand it. It was so obnoxious. I was like, I can't get into this. Maybe I'll watch it on the sub. Maybe the sub's more tolerable, but yeah.
Yeah, Black Clover is very, very divisive. It's love it or hate it. Like,
okay. I mean, I'm not against giving it another try, but yeah, no, I'm pretty high on Fairy Tale and Welcome to Demon School. My jams at the moment. Court of Owls, more like Court of Fools.
Got him.
How dare you? Anyway, guys, look, I think we're going to wrap it up there. Subscribe to the archive channel if you haven't already. That's where this will be going up. You can find Coolman's channel in the description. I'll leave this up for a bit longer just so people can see it. And then I'll relocate this podcast to the archive channel. And yeah, it's much easier to because there's no backlog of podcasts now. I can actually just re-upload these ones pretty quickly. And it just makes it simple for me. Yeah, you can look forward to that. Also, videos coming out. Got 2 videos planned for the gaming channel as well. I got one big one and one, I think, little one that'll be coming out soon. But this channel will be getting this channel will be getting a new video tomorrow. I hope. I gotta go out to a friend's birthday tonight, so that might take away some editing time, but we'll see what happens. Cool man, you got any videos coming out?
I'm working on one that's going to be like a rewrite of Attack on Titan. I also have a couple recent videos I done. One of them is about like the Dark Souls needing an easy mode topic.
Oh yeah.
And the big one that I recently put out was my video on David Jaffe throwing a hissy fit about Metroid Dread.
I watched most of that, and I'm not even a Metroid fan, guys, and I really liked his video. Like it's really funny how badly the creator of God of War fucks up his review of Metroid Dread, and Coolman does a great job of pointing that out. So you don't have to even be a Metroid fan to enjoy that video. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's doing well too. It's got 1,200 views.
Hey, alrighty. Yeah, guys. So we'll be back. The fuck? It's your birthday, Charlie. Happy birthday, man. Fucking.
Why didn't you say so earlier?
Why didn't you say so earlier? Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, guys. So yeah, stuff's coming out. It just takes time. I'm working like 45 hours a week in the week, so I have to make time. I get up like at 4 o'clock in the morning now and do my YouTube stuff before I have to go to work at 9. So yeah, like I've had to change up my schedule a bit.
Yeah. And next week on the podcast we'll be covering No Way Home.
Yeah, that I was about to. Yeah, so it'll be this time next week. It's always going to be this time. If it's not on this time, it's not on the podcast for the week, right? And it'll be us, and then Angel will be on that one. Hopefully, she couldn't make this one, and we'll talk about that development. But yeah, but who knows? Maybe you'll hear more about us, more about that topic from us sooner than you think. Anyway, links in the description. Patreon memberships, Discord, all that jazz. Thanks to all the members and patrons supporting the channel. Thanks to all you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.